Hi, and thank you for joining us for this week's TAC on the Ledge. I'm Aurora Flores, and with us today, we have Jason Hasse and Nanette Forbes.
Good morning.
Well, guys, we are almost halfway through the session, and today we hit one of the big deadlines at midnight tonight.
Yeah.
It's the bill filing deadline.
That's right.
And then this past week, we had a lot of really important bills released. Jason, you want to talk about some of those?
That's right. As you mentioned, 60th day of the legislative session is today, and with it, to date, we have 7,600 pieces of legislation that have been filed, 5,100 pieces in the House, 2,500 in the Senate. 3,800 bills have been filed or have already been referred to committee. 900 bills alone yesterday were filed.
Wow.
The pace is definitely going to pick up.
Yeah.
Some of the lower number of bills are the higher priorities for both the Speaker and the Lieutenant Governor, and we saw a lot of those hit yesterday. We've seen the package of bills around Senate finance, school finance, and property tax. That was Senate Bill 2, property tax, Senate Bill 3, $5,000 increase to teacher pay, and the nebulous SB 4, which we haven't seen yet, but what we're told is that's going to be the Senate version of school finance. On the House side, we've seen HB 2 and HB 3. HB 3 is the comprehensive school finance bill that the House has proposed. $9 billion more infusion of funding that they're putting up in addition to the $2 billion for enrollment growth. And what this means is of that $9 billion, $3 billion is what they're willing to put in to compress property taxes at the local level. HB2 has a compression ratio of basically 2.5%. The House has pretty much drawn the line and said we're willing to come down 4 pennies, and that's going to cost us $3 billion. So they're off a little bit here. This is one that we're going to have to continue to track, but it is a huge piece of legislation. Changes formulas, changes pay, it changes the way school districts when they retain some of the funds and property taxes. So it's one to definitely watch. It'll be up for hearing on Wednesday at 10:30 in Chairman Huberty's committee. So we'll definitely be watching that one.
Some other bills that were revealed this week are the disaster relief bills, another the governor's emergency item. And so these are the Harvey, in response to Hurricane Harvey. It's $1.8 billion in these packages. So there's 3 Senate bills. Right. There's Senate Bill 6, which is the Disaster Response and Recovery Guide by Cole Korst, and that one includes a lot of items that the county officials testified on during the interim hearing, so that's really important. Senate Bill 7 by Creighton is the Flood Infrastructure Plan, and that's going to help shore up a lot of the levees and miles of levees that we have on the coast. And Senate Bill 8 by Perry creates a statewide flood plan and also the 10-year dam repair plan, because that's another really important issue. And all 3 bills, of course, have the really low numbers, 6, 7, and 8, and they're going to be heard already next week on Monday in committee. So again, it was really important that our county officials testified and they got their voices heard. Really, really important. And the other big bill that we had last week for treasurers and county judges and commissioners was Senate Bill 354 by Lucio, which removes the population bracket so that commissioners' courts don't have to have a special meeting to pre-approve salaries and office expenses. And so that bill was voted out of committee, and it could be on the Senate floor as early as midweek. So that's really good news.
Yeah.
Really good news. Nanette, what do you have for us?
Oh, well,
what are the
county
doing?
the county and district clerks, they were busy over at the Capitol this week. They had 3 bills that came up in committees. They had 2 bills heard in judiciary and civil jurisprudence, and then 1 heard on the House in the House Committee on Public Health. The first bill, House Bill 685 by Representative Clardy, is the Clerks Liability Protection Bill. And what this bill does is it protects clerks and it protects counties from liability relating to the public disclosure of court documents that are maintained in a statewide court database system. And the second bill, 686, House Bill 686, also by Representative Clardy, and it's the Historic Records Preservation Bill. Back in 2013, there was a bill passed that increased the Records Archive and the Records Management and Preservation Fund fees from $5 to $10. And it was a temporary increase, and that the fees would expire in September of this year and revert back to the original $5. So all this bill does is make those $10 fees permanent so that they can continue to expect and hopefully to maintain their records and get the same resources. And because it is very expensive to maintain their records. The other bill, House Bill 703 by Representative Harris, is a very interesting bill. It relates to birth records confidentiality. Current law, birth records must remain confidential up to 75 years. And after that, they are public information. Well, what this bill does is it raises the 75-year anniversary to 125. And this is pretty much on point with what the national standard is.
Well, then we all had a really, really busy week, and it's only going to continue to get busier.
Yeah.
So, well, thanks for joining us this week on TAC on the Ledge. And remember, stay engaged and stay 254 strong.